engage in that hole, and away you go. So come on into the command center. It's dark in here, and so fortunately there's a light switch just as you walk in the door to turn on your lights. And in our command center, there's a few things that are on the front. In this compartment here, we have a first aid kit. There's also a spare tire in there. That is where it's kept. So if you have a flat tire, you need to come in here. First aid kit. And beside this compartment is what we call a kickover. And this compartment goes the full width of the vehicle. And so there's actually room to sleep up in there for a person. So for all night long in a task, some person can sleep up there. In this area we have first aid kit, so it's identical to the first aid kit that we have in a response vehicle. A couple packs with manager's personal gear, and then we have totes, one for cleaning supplies, one for extra safety equipment and PPE. There's also one for extra food and so forth, and eating utensils for the galley. And then behind that there's a last tote that has equipment, sleeping bags and pad for sleeping with, so either on the floor or up in here. And there's two orange Pelican cases for putting electronic equipment into, so in-reaches and radios and so forth. If we're taking the team transport vehicle and doing mutual aid and we'll take a bunch of that equipment with us, we can pull these empty kits out, load them up and take them with us, and we'll have safe transport for those electronic devices. So all that's in the kickover. And fold down seat, if you want to have rest up here. There's a bunch of equipment along the front here that is available for the team leaders to come in and get for team members. And we'll just go over each of those one by one. We have a FLIR up in the front corner here, and soon there'll be a couple more. These are our family service radios. The BCA radios are in here. And some pens and felt pens for the sign-in area outside. And then charging harness for all those BCA radios. They're all ready to be charged up there. On the lower shelf we have half a dozen iPads with charging harness for the iPads, extra batteries, and then there's these nylon cases that actually fit those iPads. You can put an iPad in there for a bit of extra protection. We have a dozen VHF radios. The ones with the red tape have GPS tracking on them. The other ones do not have a GPS tracking. And when the radios are plugged in, they're automatically charging. All of these drawers along this side, and most of the drawers in here, in order to open the drawer, you push on the handle and that unlocks them, and then you can pull them out. Top drawer is extra batteries and some flashlights, safety gear such as flagging tape, and some amber flashing lights for personal vehicles. And then the bottom one, push to open, extra batteries for the VHF radios, battery packs for mobile devices, so your personal cell phone, iPhones, and the iPads. So if you're using a mobile device for tracking, you probably want to have one of those things with you. And then there's a InReach that's supposed to be kept in command center, especially in cases where we don't have cell coverage at command. That gives us contact with our field teams. And then there's some more charging devices in here for the InReaches and so forth. All in that bottom drawer. These drawers here, you actually just pull these ones to open. We have some extra batteries for our new repeater. And there's some file folders in there. And that's kind of about it for that drawer. Over here, stationery. So pens, felt pens and so forth. Extra blank pages or line pages for your field books can be found there, and the bottom one will be ICS forms, blank forms that we can use to fill out on task. So we keep a bunch of them here, and then we keep a bunch of them on an organizer on the wall as well, and of course they're all available digitally on our computer system. Second set over, more stationery, so hole punch, staplers, ICS vests, and so on task. Everybody in the team, in the command team, should be wearing a vest. So one for planning, one for logistics, one for operations chief, one for the search manager. And the very bottom is just some lined paper and dividers, other office equipment. And over here we have, in the very back of this top drawer is spare keys. So spare keys for this vehicle, spare keys for the ERV, and other miscellaneous spare keys are in that little organizer. And we have miscellaneous computer equipment, patch cords, and programming cords. And the very bottom one is guides, extra pages for our field guides, and miscellaneous documents we kept at the bottom of the drawer. And up in here we have permanent markers and dry erase markers and pens and so forth to be used on this whiteboard and in the radio area. Above our photocopier, we have extra paper and extra toner for the photocopier. This is a projector that will project from here down onto this screen, and it displays everything that's on our mapping computer. And so we can actually slide this up to the front and do some planning with our incident commander and team leaders using that large display. This is the radio area. The radio operator will keep notes on the whiteboard as to what the activity of the teams are in the field. We have 3 radios. The top one is for tracking those digital GPS radios, and the bottom 2 are voice communications radios. We have a bunch of overhead drawers. Starting here, we have extra GPSs are up here, along with a few extra batteries for the older VHF radios, and there's about a dozen or so small family service radios up in there as well. Next one is IT manuals and equipment manuals, so manuals on how we do our mapping, the different mapping software that we have. There's one for radio use, the different frequencies that we have, and then one for computer information, so the computer software that we use. And all of that will be up in here, as well as there's an operator's manual for the whole command center that's been put together for us. It has schematics for the electrical and that sort of thing in there. Training, there'll be documents that we put together in the past for some of the training that we put on. Training manuals, so the rope rescue manuals are in here. So all that's in that drawer. The next one is clipboards, the search manager, the operations chief, and logistics. Each has their own colored clipboard with notes on what their duties are on task. Kleenex and extra gloves are all up in here. That's rubber gloves. Laptop computer, and then the very front one is for the managers, so our pre-plan books, our safety manuals, lost person behavior, directories, all that kind of information is kept up here for the managers. And then down here is our computers, so to use the screens, just lift it up and you can pull it forward and move it around and to wherever you like. And when you're finished, push it to the wall and set it down behind this locking post, and it'll be secure in transit, otherwise it'll just move all over the place. And so that's all those things. And last, I'm just going to talk about the electrical panel. So this is the panel that controls all the electrical circuits in the command center. And they're all numbered to make it really easy for us to start this system up. So switch number 1 was that light switch we turned on as we walked up the stairs. The next thing we do when we get into here is press and hold down the top of this toggle switch to start the generator. You'll hear the generator turn over and just keep it held down until it actually starts up and then let it go. I'm going to turn the generator off. There's a lot of background noise. So turn it off just at the bottom of the toggle, just press it once and off it goes. So on task, when the generator is running, once you have that running, then it's time to slide this slider block down on both of these panels, and then the top switch goes to generator. That switches the electrical, so that now this whole unit is energized from the generator as opposed to from the shore power, the plug-in from outside. So that was switches number 3 and 4. Switch number 5 and 6 are for all the different circuits that are in this command center. So we have different circuits for the plugins and the lights, and then we have 3 for the 3 baseboard heaters and 1 for the air conditioner. So turn on whichever circuits you need. So normally I would turn on all the electrical circuits. Oops. And then either air conditioner in summer or the heaters in the wintertime. that's 5 and 6. 7 and 8 are power sources that will produce 12 volt power to energize this panel. And so that's 6 switches for our radios, as well as switches for the external amber lights and the scene lights. And so you can turn on whichever of those lights. There is a light above the stairs, the courtesy lights. You want to make sure that's on for safety if it's at all dark outside. And that was number 9, and that's the last of these switches to turn on. And the only other ones to turn on are the 2 computers and the power switches over the bottom right hand corner. And so just hold that down and turn on both of those computers. And this equipment is just our routers and our cellular access hub. So you normally don't need to touch those at all. And that's it for the equipment. And once it's powered up, then we're good to go. And I think that is everything for our command center. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you.